second tree has blossomed. That second tree that I showed, not the first one, but that first one, I thought it was the second one, then I realized that's the first one. But the second one that I kept trying to get recorded over by those pine trees over off to the side, try to get as much as I can in. When I first saw that tree, the left side had all its leaves. On the right side, there was no leaves, it was bare. And I prayed to Jesus every day that the right side would get leaves on it like the left side. Every day I would pray that the tree would have both sides full. And Jesus answered my prayer, because now if you look, the tree not only has leaves on the left side, but on the right side it has leaves too. So it's not bare anymore. It's all evened out. The power of prayer. I pray to Jesus every day for that tree to have both limbs on both sides, leaves fully grown, and now that tree has blossomed. As Jesus answered my prayers. I prayed every day for that tree to have both leaves on both sides, because on the left side, from where I'm looking, the left side, it had leaves all perfectly, and on the right side, it was all barren. There was no leaves there, hardly. And then I prayed every day, and now the right side is even with the left side. Jesus answered my prayers. Proofs in the pudding that God does exist. There's lots of times where I almost died, but I prayed to Jesus to help me pull through, and I pulled through my miracle. And there's a lot of times I almost got killed by a bus or a car, but everything was in slow motion, and God was protecting me all the way. You know, God knew I had more to do. I'm trying to sow in on the internet. I'm helping missionaries by giving them websites, not only Planet Salvation information, but knowledge of illusions that'll help them to use it as a magic tool. And some of them have already done it already, but I've advanced their knowledge so they can go even further. And their children, Rubik's Cube magic tricks. I mean, Owen, his mom said he's got it on his birthday or wish list for a Rubik's Cube. And I'm thinking, I got plenty of Rubik's Cube. Here, have mine. And the mother thanked me for it. And then that night, his dad, I think his name is John, said, "Oh, by the way, thank you for helping giving my son that Rubik's Cube." I said, "You're welcome." And I helped all the other missionary children. They have magic sets. Wayne Berry and Priscilla Berry were coming in the doorway and said, "Are you teaching them magic tricks?" I said, "Yeah." And he knows magic tricks too, so we're sharing back and forth. And Priscilla Berry and Wayne Berry said, "That's great." And I give them YouTube channels and DVD secrets, and the YouTube channels will learn out more secrets, and Facebook and all that. If they just follow all my subscribers, they'll find more losing secrets fun. Seek and you shall find. Knock and the door shall be open. John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him shall not perish but have everlasting life. John 3:16. And that means by saying, "Jesus, please forgive me for all my sin and come to my heart and save me." And once you really mean it, because God knows the heart, if you really meant it, then you're now in the book, your name's going to stay in the book of life forever and ever. And us born-again Christians, we're pre-trib. I just learned that last night from Pastor Mike Astor. I've always wondered, what kind of round are we in this? Now I know, I asked Miss Story on the way home to make sure. Pre-trib. There's a post-trib and another one I forgot. Post-trib, oh, middle trib. But the main thing is that if you're born again Christian, that's all that matters. You can argue back and forth. But the Bible proves, like Pastor Cole and Pastor Asher, I'm sure Dallas Andy and Jonathan, I can't think, Pastor Eric Rainwater and Utrecht and Mark Taylor, John Radice, Nathaniel Brown, Matt Brown, all the missionaries. Well, you get the idea. Pastor Will Cole, Pastor Mike Asher. Trying to think all the Mr. and Mrs. Lowry, everybody. Bob Schofield, Howard Chapel, Ventriloquist Magician, Brother James Rose, Ventriloquist, Candyman, Preacher. Anyway, the main objective is that everybody, even my YouTube channel that are born again Christians and Facebook, they all agreed that once saved, always saved. You never lose salvation. And God's going to come and take us Christians, born again Christians, away from all this disaster that's going to happen, that God's going to have his wrath. He's going to take us out like a thief in the night. He's going to, raptura means taken up. So it's important to get saved now before it's too late. And the way things are, the only thing it's missing is the rapture. Rapture means taken up. Raptura. And dinosaurs were in the day of Adam and Eve. And when Noah had all the animals on there were baby dinosaurs along with it. Listen to Skip Tilton's Creation Museum YouTube channel, and Jeff Seltzer and Ken Ham. You'll get the gist of it. And Kirk Cameron. When he was young, I would pray to Jesus that he get saved. And he answered my prayers, and I'm sure everybody else prayed. He got saved. There was a kid on Reading Rainbow. I would pray to every kid that was reading a book on Reading Rainbow would get saved. And everybody in that studio. And one day, this one kid said, I don't know who prayed for me, but we came from a non-Christian family. His dad drank and all that stuff. We said that we didn't go to church. Someone prayed for us. And I wanted to say, to let them know that it was me. But I had 2 times to do that. But when the person doing the message said something in a way to just let them figure it out on their own, and I'm thinking, man, I want to do it now. I want to tell them. Well, the next time I see them, I'm going to tell them, because I don't know why I didn't, but something about that message said that they'll figure it out. But anyway, and he mentioned that there's another person that has a talent. This girl can eat 7 hot dogs in one setting. And I was thinking, oh, she's like Bob Schofield. Bob Schofield ate 7 hot dogs in one setting. That's why my dad Marcel had extra buns and extra hot dogs and sodas just for Bob Schofield. When we did the concession stand, the blue and yellow concession stand, when we had the church-wide softball game where other churches played against us, or we went to their churches and played there, back and forth. And Bob Turner, one time, we couldn't find the ball anywhere, and he was the pitcher. And we're looking everywhere, and he looked down and he said, oh, what do you all know? It went in the old bread basket. We were all cracking up. And Bob Schofield would tell Rusty Dillard, assistant pastor, hit it to Lumber Sister. Can't even say it right. Hit it to Lumber City, Rusty. All of a sudden, Rusty Dillard hit it to Lumber City. And Bob Schofield practiced at the batter thing where, like a tennis ball, it shoots a thing out. Well, they evidently got a baseball like that. He practiced hitting, so he'd be ready to hit the ball. when we were playing at other churches, one time it was raining and thundering, and the churches were still playing on. And my mom said, "Come on, Bill, we're the only smart one. Get in the car." Oh, okay.